The air inside the luxurious penthouse was unnaturally quiet, save for the soft hum of the city outside. Rain lashed against the windows, streaking the glass like tear tracks. Inside, Adrian Blackwell, once the most powerful CEO in the city, sat in a wheelchair by the window. His once commanding frame seemed smaller now, frail, vulnerable. The man who had crushed competitors with a word could now barely move his legs. The doorbell rang, sharp and sudden. His assistant had gone home. He frowned. Who could it be at this hour? He muttered. He wheeled himself toward the door and pressed the button to unlock it. The hinges creaked open. A man stepped in, tall, broad-shouldered, with soaked clothes clinging to him. His face was hidden under a cap, but his stance radiated quiet strength, controlled, deliberate. Adrian's heart gave an odd twist. There was something familiar in that silhouette. Who are you? Adrian demanded. How did you get in this building? Security. The man stepped into the light. Adrian froze. It was Daniel Carter. 5 years ago, Daniel had been one of his employees, a brilliant engineer, loyal, honest. Until Adrian destroyed him. Adrian's voice faltered. You were fired. No, I made sure you'd never work again. Daniel didn't respond immediately. He took off his wet cap, his hair plastered to his forehead. His eyes, dark and calm, yet haunted, locked on Adrian. Yes, you did. You accused me of stealing company data. You told everyone I was a traitor. Adrian gripped the sides of his wheelchair, a tremor running through his hands. You did steal. No, Daniel cut him off, voice low but sharp. I didn't. You knew it, too. Silence. The rain outside grew harsher, as though echoing the tension between them. Adrian swallowed hard. If you're here for revenge, please, don't hurt me. I can't walk. His voice broke. Please, don't hurt me. Daniel's jaw tightened. Hurt you? Do you think that's what I came for? He took a deep breath, pulling something from his jacket pocket. A small photograph, creased, worn, almost falling apart. He handed it to Adrian. In the picture was a little girl, no more than 6, smiling wide, holding a paper flower. That's Lily, Daniel said softly. My daughter. Adrian blinked at the photo, confusion flickering in his tired eyes. Why are you showing me this? Daniel's voice trembled with emotion. Because you took away her future when you ruined mine. She was 4 when you fired me. After that, I couldn't find a job. Every door closed. We were evicted. She got sick last winter, and I couldn't even afford her medicine. Adrian's chest constricted. His throat went dry. I didn't know. No, Daniel said, tears threatening his composure, you didn't care. He turned away, pacing, his hands trembling. I spent years hating you. Nights thinking about this moment. I imagined storming in here and watching you beg for mercy. But seeing you like this, he glanced at the wheelchair. It's not victory. It's just, sad. Adrian lowered his gaze. For the first time in years, the great CEO looked small. Not because of his disability, but because of guilt finally catching up to him. What happened to you? Daniel asked quietly. Adrian let out a bitter laugh. Karma, maybe. A car accident 6 months ago. I was speeding to a board meeting, as always. Lost control. Doctors said I'll never walk again. Daniel didn't answer. The rain softened to a drizzle, the city's hum filling the silence. Adrian's voice came again, hoarse. Why are you really here, Daniel? Daniel's expression softened, anger melting into something else. Because, Lily doesn't have much time. The doctors said she needs surgery soon. I tried every hospital, every foundation, no one would help. But then I saw an article about you, the great Adrian Blackwell, donating millions to charity. His lips twisted faintly. I realized you were trying to wash your conscience clean. Adrian's eyes widened slightly. You came to ask for help. Daniel hesitated, shame flickering across his face. No, I came to demand you face what you did. But now, I don't know. For a long moment, the two men just stared at each other, one broken by guilt, the other by life's cruelty. The storm outside had passed, leaving behind the faint reflection of city lights dancing on the glass. I don't expect forgiveness, Adrian said finally. But if there's a chance I can fix even a piece of what I ruined, he reached for the phone on his desk. Tell me what Lily needs. Daniel blinked, disbelief softening into tears. You'd help. Adrian nodded weakly. Not because I deserve forgiveness. But because she does. The room went quiet again. Daniel's hands shook as he nodded, unable to speak. The man he once hated had just become his daughter's only hope. Outside, dawn began to break through the clouds. 3 weeks later, the sterile white of the hospital room was interrupted by the sound of laughter, soft, fragile, but real. Little Lily sat propped up in bed, her cheeks no longer pale. She was coloring a picture with bright crayons, a clumsy drawing of 3 stick figures, herself, her dad, and a man in a wheelchair with a sun overhead. Daniel sat beside her, watching her color. The exhaustion under his eyes was deep, but so was the peace. Across the room, Adrian sat quietly in his wheelchair, a soft smile tugging at his lips. "She's getting better," Daniel said quietly, almost to himself. "She's strong," Adrian replied. "Stronger than both of us." Lily looked up, beaming. "Mr. Adrian, look, I drew you." Adrian chuckled, his eyes misting. "That's wonderful, sweetheart. You made me look very happy." "You were happy," she said brightly. "Daddy says you helped me get my magic fixed." Daniel smiled faintly. "Her surgery." Adrian's throat tightened. "Yes, your magic heart." Lily giggled and went back to coloring, humming softly. Daniel leaned back, exhaling. "The doctors say she's going to recover completely. You saved her life." Adrian's gaze dropped to his hands. "Maybe she saved mine." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" Adrian turned toward the window, where sunlight streamed in like liquid gold. "After the accident, I lost everything that mattered. My company still runs, but without me, it's just numbers. No one visited me. Not friends, not family. I was empty. I thought money could fix anything, but it couldn't fix me. Until you walked in that night." Daniel watched him, silent. Adrian continued, voice low. "You could have let me die alone with my guilt. But instead, you gave me something I hadn't felt in years, purpose." Daniel shook his head. "I didn't do it for you." "I know," Adrian said softly. "That's why it means more." A nurse entered, smiling at Lily. "It's time for your checkup, sweetheart." As she led Lily away, the 2 men sat in silence, the hum of the hospital filling the space. "I've been thinking," Adrian said after a moment. "When she's better, I want to set up a trust fund in her name. For her education, and for other kids like her." Daniel looked up, stunned. "You don't have to." "I want to," Adrian said firmly. "I can't undo the past. But I can make sure her future, and others like her, are brighter." Daniel's voice trembled. "You're not the man I remember." Adrian smiled faintly. "Maybe losing everything made me see what really matters." They sat together for a while, 2 men once bound by anger, now joined by something deeper, forgiveness. As Lily's laughter echoed from the hallway, Adrian closed his eyes. The warmth in his chest was foreign yet familiar, the kind he hadn't felt since before power had corrupted him. "Adrian," Daniel said quietly, "I forgive you." Adrian's eyes opened slowly. A single tear slid down his cheek. "Thank you," he whispered. Outside, the sun rose higher, flooding the room with golden light. Lily's laughter grew louder as she ran back in, waving her drawing. "Daddy, Mr. Adrian, look. It's us, with wings. We're flying." Adrian chuckled. "Looks like you're the artist of hope, Lily." She giggled and climbed onto Daniel's lap. "You can fly too, Mr. Adrian. Even if your legs don't work, your heart can." Adrian's smile faltered, then widened through his tears. "You're right, little one. I can." Daniel looked at him, eyes shining. For a long moment, there was no past between them, no lies, no pain. Just 3 souls healing together. The man once feared as an untouchable CEO had found redemption not through power, but through kindness, born from the very man he had once destroyed. And for the first time in years, Adrian didn't feel trapped by the wheelchair. He felt free.